Tosumino abo apemo aha aye Pent Radio 100.1 FM Kumase Asokwa Pentecost House. And right no num empemu kasie ena ebraso say de bro can for ayeme or hinebenya komene.
Adren pa yene kofi mensa adren papa na papa ni wanim kan.
And as ye e wakasie mu ye de ma or hinere spice so na fin so or hinere non dairy pardon box so one madama and wafa kasie ehoka ama yenso enya hoden atna say ken kadema say okay and streaming live e wo Facebook e de emayen. Na kasie ni mo en semene dia e di emu akotini bi and say Pastor Frank Ajimai Prempe wano ene area head Maryland ewo USA wasi agidifo yenhwe se ya hoode ene ye bra ye hoode de bemma awrade na ebrebi eba enye papa bone ena etimi ese nipa ekra
na wo amamwo emu ansam Ghana mampanyini onimonyamfo John Dramani Muhammad atudu ekyerem se omayi kakra economy no esanso ejejana namoso ebiem
ononyamfo Julius Debra chief of staff what they are to a year aban adwumayefo anase dwumafo nyinanim se wonhwe se obema pepepe ye netrene edi onanim ewo adwumayemu
na mrasebe dwamu tiame ne so atimi agyan tumi so a ene wotirem se we adwumade edi kan kra parliamentary practice and procedure week no wadana dinemu ensem bi atodwa yedima manebo eba
adehye ensem pi ka ho ne atrase ne nwumre ede ebro se enwumru nonnom ene fa kase ye gi abofo enkrato ye de kase ne chimu ebeto awo enche
Midofo amini ho agro na say die oduane ne gya no ayesronko
ani omua ohiri spices abafi aduane de ayesronko ohiri chicken seasoning so tutu uchi ana wo ye akokko no ho bobia fakakra som
froye no
ohiri stew seasoning be mama jeta
jollof no
ohiri jollof seasoning na hwam ni odew
fried rice no kra die
ohiri fried rice seasoning e ma me fried Friday apunchin kakra no me do ohiri go seasoning na ye asem na se nura ohiri seasoning powder we want beef shrimp noodles any de keke ka anu so de aduane no hwam na medem ubedi dibio enti obapa ohiri spices abama ye aduane no aye de efise ne die ne nso aye de
ohiri spices
and we drive Dromo at a phone for 020-780-5398 and 0244-525908 FDA Aji a Jubilee Kratui Atum.
Yamo akwaba edibaka siane so afe yemu na yemfa ensemno nenchemu yemfa emro. Nano kwesi dai yako asori na ready edidie kokopie mu ewo South Central Shalom Assembly ewo no na Central na ewo na so penia wono area head eda Maryland asori Church of Pentecost na ewo USA wono na ekasa ye Pastor Frank Ajima Prempe na nkasa ye mu no ensembia wode etu dwano no watch say adom enko a nyame ede adom ye na sa adom no yenhwe na yamfa ni agro esanse adom no eno ena ekita yen na emom no se yedi adom na kasa adom nti ye de bedi boni a wanhwe ye nso a boni na esunsu so bebre wose boni wo hoi ni ye no enya denkra boni ni emre so be di boni na nso ni sunsu so setie ni enti yenhwe ye na yini boni efefri ya brabom
Anti afutu a menu mi anu ade etu ho fo ne se enne yi a wo ahoɔden ka wo bɔfo wɔ branch brim enne yi ahoɔden da so na awia da so na wutimi ye bibi ma awurade no saa bere ne bra etwa sɛ wutimi eye bibi ma awurade Bible say righteousness exalt a nation but sin is a reproach tini ni wo ema oman so nanso nipa ahohora ene bɔne adeɛ baako a betimi asa wo daakye adeɛ baako a ebetimi ama woda yesu nyinaa akata adeɛ baako a entimi ma wutimi ntina na ne nyame akafa ho no emmam ewo wo daakye ene bɔne timi sire nyame adom sɛ ɔma ya hoɔde ebetimi de adi bɔne so ye agidifo yi na wafre ye wo saa adom yi mu no ye mmɔmɔden sɛ ye mma bɔne, you know, adeɛ baako a yɛnim fa bɔne ho sɛ sin is easy to commit, but it has so many consequences. Obiara nu a yɛkyerɛ ne sɛ ɔnyɛ bɔne, sɛ ɔpɛ sɛ ɔyɛ bɔne a, you can easily do it. Nanso so no, bɔne no a wobɛyɛ no, ɛno ara ho nsunsuasoɔ no ɛbɛha ɔdaakye. Nti mesrɛ sɛ me ne wo mmienu Nyame afrɛ yɛn aba adom yi mu no, yɛbɛbɔ mmɔden sɛ yɛnyɛ adeɛ a ɛbɛma yɛn daakye asɛe. Amen.
Amen. Bonne no esunsun so be how dachi adom nko an tienka ye bofo ewo nemranti bremo ansana da bone bi adu so na wode David ene ne ma ena na eye enfanto ho eye Pastor Frank Ajiman Prempe Maryland Church of Pentecost area head.
Abusuafo ma yentu akaseba so ewo amamuo emu ensem na Ghana mapanyi onumunyamfo Tontamani Mahama ene na wachi mo yade sem komododo na akoso ewo na tena ye na kwabra ene edai wonata ekase mo otimi ehwe ya ene adehye awodo a wo mo atubata akotra nkrofo aman so na wonum so akodi paacha wonum bana mepemu ewo Ghana ha enya wonum nko a sanso na adehye binum a omudi Germany wonum president echi ene won bo pie mu Ghana ha no no wo mu nyina eka ho ebi ene wo si nkonya ewo apakase mu na sa trekase mu dubli out ekomodi die mu na Ghana mampanyi ede to wonanim ese ene Ghana de yakoba da Roma ene yesika sam anancheda enyina brane economy na nasa bio edija de se kontom edija aka no yakopon eno tumi ahwe yenso aboye kakaka ma yenim de ya eka de sisi ni enwama ani aboye ho so a enei no wotumi se economy na san so enya nantu a ejina so ebiem o chese we beboa na atimi so ama adehye no mo enfi o mam na so manya sika na besom de ma o mai mo ebehye enuma woto mo no amama kokoduo ni sie ho mama timi enso aba be ye mmoa e o saa kwan no so o chese enei uhwe ya GDP na atimi anyine afiti eye ohaje chemu no enum ne akiri pa baako akwa dina eye ohaje chemu no enso ne akiri pa miensa wo afi afa no mo wo 2025 mo no etwei eye asamda pa atas wo chese enya asam ketwa enso ekra
ewo emrashibigafo a wonom ewo atifi mantemu eye Northern Caucus ewo emrashibigafo na chese emrashibigafo a wonom enkonwa ni nyina ewo omatifi fam wonom no wonom eba no dani majority leader enei wode atudwa ewo diplomatic corps ase no wode atudwa chese atifi fam wonom wo hwa adwuma pa wonom eye adwuma ne kase na eye emo anase emu ne dua enti wonom ma woyem na shibigafo a wonom abato mpehia ewo atifi fam wonom no wonom ebo wo homoden no tutu niema se de beya wobetimi apagya emufuo ne do enafe so ne ye emu.
The Northern Caucus has invited the 6 municipal and district chief executives, and we're sending them this weekend to Kenya, which also has a huge rice production industry at a very large scale. And they're going to Kenya this weekend, the DCEs, and some chiefs from those locations to study commercial production of rice. And we also, as a caucus, invited some of the importers of rice to try and understand what we can do in the north to have them take the rice from us instead of importing the rice. And the importers suggested that they would like to take us to Vietnam, where they take their rice from, so they will see what Vietnam is doing, which makes them go there to pick the rice, and if we could replicate such practices here. So the importers are funding us to take one major chief in each of the regions, so in all about 5 very senior chiefs to Vietnam to see how they have organized themselves to produce rice and see how we can structure it. And they can do the off-taking from us and guarantee a market so that we can also work our way to encourage investments in those rice valleys.
Na eno na ononyafo Mahama Ayarega wode to speaker enim say speaker say nyina ye nitua ese yayu ese nipa na se emrahwebidwafo ensia wiase nyina wonum enkwagina mu na Ukraine na afa nso eye Russia wonum to kwai wontu ho anamon se be asumdwe betimi abanemu yesrew ansa na wodo ani be kire Russia and Ukraine de no fo ni fa kire mu atifi mantemu ma asumdwe emra ho tutu niama na ehu asumdwe ansa na wako Ukraine.
We have have a major problem with peace in the north. My own constituency and entire half of the region, which covers 6 constituencies, have witnessed major instability past, several years, and has intensified a bit. So we are looking at how do we really have some engagement with the North around the issues of peace and sustainable peace. And after that area, we also witnessed a few occurrences in the Savannah region. And so we thought that as members of parliament, and I've had a discussion with the Right Honorable Speaker about this, before he goes to Ukraine, then he should check his own neighborhood, and then let's see how we can work together to deal with the peace situation in the north. So one of the things that as a Northern Caucus we want to do is, if we get some support, to pull together a Northern Conference around peace.
Ania woti ye edom kese wo mrahye biafi wono ba no dani ononyamfo Mahama Ayarega.
Abusuafo amasibe dom wonma ene yedaso egina na dwumadie bi akoso eno eye parliamentary practice at procedure week na eye amasibe dom chiame hine Mr. Speaker of Parliament Right Honorable Alban Kensor Babin eno hwe ye hyehyehye ne amamre ne amane ema dwumadie etimi ewiemu edie no chese dwumadie asem tipa ode eto so no eye strengthen Ghana's parliamentary democracy, the rule of practice and procedure na eno na amasibe dom chiame hine ekasa dia fa ho no what I say, Usha, Yam, I see the drum de guapo, Eswa, not as the idea, a swany papa, we HSR, Pacamami Cabino, idea, Nayati, and was say, Nadani Dano, yes, I say, bet me Aquasua and Mini, and so our memory now from Dear Afana to my pa a day afra, which says the 23 cannot just say about to form a Franco D. Sarah Papa and my Sibidum Aquaye, Yawa, a yet don't cancel it on Ketua, Nelson Dali Dana, we didn't come out no Shanas and Commando Sabu, Babia Kono, and how ever. No munya atimi anya botanin to basie na omatimi enso ahye saje beya asudwe no betimi adi akotene na wasadi madie na asie no na klaka no ewa mrahye bedwam owura Ebeneza eye chatro enso de nsam eka ho na okyerem se wo hye dwumadia wonum edia dwumadia no ebeboa ama enei asoya wodo awowo ewa mrahye bedwam wodum no obia bedi ni dwumadie ewa amamra kwaso na afenso no fenchem ne krojen enso atimi adadi ne sayo suntino wasre mrahye bedwam wadwumafo wonum nyina se obia anya kokodo no obia hweso benam sa dwumadie so na ne dwumadie wodi no obedi no eye pepepe yo ekwaso na boa ama amudie ne anidia yewo edema yemrahye bedwa no emu akosoa epija.
From procession into the chamber, conduct of business in the chamber, movement in and out of the chamber, manner of speaking whilst on your feet in the chamber, withdrawing from the chamber at any time, recession out of the chamber, and indeed anywhere within the prisons where members and officers come into contact with the Right Honorable Speaker. As you know, the practice or the procedure is that we must all be upstanding. We are guided by rules of procedure. Our lives as MPs and staff are totally regulated by procedure. And I dare say, indeed, our dress code is regulated by procedure. So if you are falling out of that, then you are falling out of grace. And I dare say, your conduct probably contemplates a breach of the rules of engagement in the House.
Nia utiye ono aya klaka wamla sebedwamu owura Ebeneza ahuma jatro na otene nkano na no etino na dom kese no afema no ba no dani on kro yamla sebedwani dimade somo Boko Central baton besu aso no menyamfo Mahama Ayarega wono so esle klaka se dan danya dwumadia wodi no won hwe se eno so enam hyehye eso kroje se de betumi aboa na semi betop no so a etinje bebre no etu bitwa.
The minority have been abusing the majority in this house. You will not believe this, but they abuse the majority in this house. Every Friday, after I've read business statement, without going through the rules for introducing matters, they will use business statement as an excuse to introduce everything from archaeology to zoology, clearly abusing the majority. So I plead with the clerk and the speaker that let's start managing the rules properly, because I'm tired of the abuse. So there are procedures for introducing matters.
dwamu dom kase no ba no dani onimonyam from hama yarega ene na wote ye no na dom ketua no so afam no ubewram ewo weja bawe abato mpesua so a opanyo yam na shebe dwani onukro ya na oye deputy minority chief whip onimonyam for Jerry Ahmed ono so de dia to so no wotre se wasa dani dan nyina no afani afano se de nsemi betopo no so a so omunyira nya monte ase omunyira nya suahunu na eno so atimi aboa se de be ya emofra wonu ya de suafo adani dan musika safidie ho na bi kura timi bohwi bobra momla se be dwam hye dwumadi ekoso no won so atimi anya bibi ade atom kotodo na dachi bi no won so ebe yesa sabi mla se be dwafo a won ma huwa hye ne dwumadi se de tie.
It ensures that even in moments of sharp disagreement, fairness and decorum prevail. We all know how heated things can get in this chamber, and you will. Sometimes it feels like we are on one motion away from escape. But even in our most passionate moments, it's the rules that keep us from descending into chaos. We must therefore cultivate an institutional culture in which both members and staff understand that professionalism and respect for the rules are non-negotiable. Let me emphasize that the responsibility for strengthening our parliamentary procedure rests on all of us, whether we serve in the majority, in the minority, or in the administrative leadership of parliament.
Opanyina wotini nkai wono na waye mrashebe dwani di madisho mo weja bawe abato mpesua so deputy minority chief whip onimonyamfo Jerry Ahmed.
Jumadi bi akoso asa jumadi no na eye 2025 internal audit annual conference ena ekoso na chief of staff Onyamfo Julius Debra wona na kokasa jumadi na se na nkasa emu no wode to enumakuo anase jumaifo bi te se auditors ne won ma academy se professionalism ehu hia pa wosis wo yisa papa ye na afenso enhye da won ma adwuma ho edifiri won ma adwuma na ebetosi ense mebre ena beba ho won ma adwuma na ehu hia papa enti won hwe na won ma professionalism any one enim.
I want to inform the acting director general that the concerns raised will be the first in our report to His Excellency when I get back to the office of welfare are really very important. Resetting our country and the economy means a reset of mindset, a reset of attitude, a reset of how public servants engage with Ghanaians who are being served. To this end, we have learned the code of conduct guiding the behavior of all government appointees. The code of conduct outlines what is expected of every one of my appointees. It is a principle-based document that is intended to promote a new political culture of transparency, ethical leadership, and humility. As public servants, as internal auditors, you have your own professional code of conduct, ethics, and professionalism. I believe that as internal auditors, you are frontline guardians of integrity, stewards of public trust, and partners in institutional transformation. I thus crave your support, your partnership in this journey of economic and infrastructure reform. I recognize the immense contribution of internal auditors and all other public servants to the success we have chalked so far. But there is
Chief of Staff Onyamfo Julius Debra.
Abusuafo na ya shagita odie ho ensam sade asibi enso etie ewo mayimu na sade nyina yedim se agina tuku ewo mra chebe dwam a wo mo ana dane dan nyina wo hwe na kontabuo enno da wo kroje ekoso ewo nyuma kwa hododo a ye wo ewo mayimu ni aso ya hodo na eye osoafo na hwe agita odie aba fontentan ene dane julode ntoto ye eso mekire Minister for Communication, Technology and Digitalization no eye Owura Samuel na George aka Jataba okopie mu Public Account Committee anim ene yebusa ne se ewon komo se na sebetie ene osi bo ewode eja me ba ye meguso me pomso toto nioma kakra nanso eka wodo bi ene ewo hodoma ene nyuma ko bi ti se eye Infranco Smart Ghana Limited for wo mo kro mo de eka a tie se wo hwe sika na ewade mu pa America dollar no opipim no ensia $6 million ene wo se mutimi de ma oman no nanso abo ma ayade se wo mo enhwe na wo mo emfiye entwa kan mfama ye ne sayo sunti no enam sokra matabiri wo mo de makwa koma eye omayi abande de mu ni panyini eye attorney general say one so to us mo fa wafutu ene ho enso entanche ni nyina famra ne ya se de bo eye dwuma ko ne ye ya ya vom ko gyina mamrana no na amamrana mu ni se de se na efata owura eye na to George kyerem se one aye crowd se dare de anyo bebu nkonta emuda ho e de akyere Ghana fo enya nkwankwa bi na ba be se kutupa ansa na oye de se na fata one wonim se de be ne kura no e wose otu ana mu abebo ma Ghana nyina e be nya so mfa so no so wana mu otu no gusu a otu
that you cannot alter the terms of a parent contract in such a manner that vitiates the intent of the original contract. Because the original contract said you could not assign more than 20%. Now you have a situation where you've done an addendum that has taken over the entire right and handed them over. So again, that's a question for the lawyers to determine if that is legally right and permissible by our laws. But the change in the terms are on the basis of that addendum. Now the question is, against the spirit and letter of the original contract, is that admissible? The fact that it was signed, is it legally tenable, and is that's a matter for the Attorney General that we've written to.
And now to ye one I also for Regitawdie and other Fontaine time Jumaje and some as Minister for Communication, Technology and Digitalization Ora Samonate George aka Jataba.
Owura Sanya Hosi wono convener Edma One Ghana movement. What na no to be edifa na watwi ewe nine mo sasrafo a wo se enkrofo kodje wonum so e wo hwedem ebra wonum egus eye wonum adwuma esi obetu galamse esosa na Owura Sanya Hosi asem a wo kan se we de eye papa se de asem na sie ne esi wo omampani na boboa no pe we na be kire se omampani mahama na ni abre se obetu galamse esosa ana se adena ebefa ne ebegine nsem wase so omampani etimi ye we hu bebi ani ebe nsampa tumi nikita na obetimi ato galamse susa na se de asi wona boboa no na asi wono ankasa ne fie ne de ye hwe ne de obetimi aye anase ye hwe de obeye we Owura Sanya Hosi.
Oh, I think this is just the perfect test of whether the president is Excellency John Dramani Mahama has a political will to fight against the enemy. This is the biggest test. It's the biggest test. The president came into office rightly said that he needed to deal with the kingpin and not the small boys. Yes. And I agree with him on that strategically. We kill the snake at the head, not just chipping off the skin. I agree with him. And it's been 10 months. We have not seen the kingpin yet. These are the kingpins, Mr. President. These are your kingpins. His ability to deal with his own people will be a sign of his wish for local. When he fails at that point, he should know the fight against Galamsey has failed. And Mr. President had no intent to fight Galamsey. In this particular matter, he can deal with it ruthlessly to send the right signal to his own people. Then there's no hope. At that point, we will take our decision and we will regain control of this fight. But forcing those who we have voted for to do the right thing. What is at stake is the future of our children and our children's children.
Ano aye Owura Sanya Hosi nensema wade atu edwano ebi anu no se wo hwedia ensi nsunsu a na chese galamse nti Ghana ase kakran ase ya yo man yeni mraso oman ya yeni hihye so kale no na ko bi hyasrafo atade a yesuro ni papa ene abrantie mrantie nye ba akopem program na kana lankasa empanifo pra wonom ewa asafo dom na nipatimi ehihye afom atade ne efia atade se nya no nto hye wo mo so a ene na chese Ghana kakran ba bi ekeka ko ne ehu.
We have time and time again mentioned the issue about the security inclusive prison. If men led by the army, from the soldiers from Ghana, and so much feared, and people can come to fight them, and we can mobilize people, mobs, to almost lynch them. They tell you the state in which we are in. We are gradually becoming a lawless state because of Galamsey. And His Excellency the President cannot sit by and watch this country lose its own statesman, chip by chip, space by space, and claim to be president. No. This is a major risk, major risk. People don't fear our soldiers anymore. We all grew up and we understood what it means to be in that army uniform. When people did not faith in the police, we still kept faith in the army. So if we can't respect our police, we can't respect our army, what's going to happen next? Read about what I'm saying. And you see, there's a matter of time we become a stateless state. We are increasingly becoming
becoming a soul state. So, His Excellency the President, this is your perfect time to show your commitment to this fight, to show your leadership.
Ani a wuti eye owura sanyo hosi wono ena wote ye no.
Abusuafo ya do ko mfimfini mantamu na adehya wonom ewo denkyira adade wonom etiem papa eno ewo apa denkyira west mensini no emu na omo ekyere se be se busumi entamnie enkania de nkania pa omunya bi ade na adani sumu no enumu ano mote saa busumi aya se bedane han fasege na eno nam so amadisia no mo ade sede ade tumpanfo anim se omo sere pa wo hawo biara aba no enam so ama enei adehya mo eye denkyira adade asese sum ato wo mo no yɛhwɛ ne yɛntimi enye siesie bia sɛ chimato ana nyina modin tumi no aba ho a empemfomfo mo nan ensi fom na enam so ma momra hye bedwani a wono ewo apa denkyira west abaton pesia so Randolph Amwako jumper enso ahyebo sɛ obɛhwɛ no haw no enmanim ya omatimi asiesie
yade omo right akọ me busumi bi e mo wa ka fia sɛ almost yeah entumi embo mamade awodo mamade ebe tuwa na mo enye I don't say ade yeshe ebiami asi abefre isi di manager na oho no edi nkomo na enmani ya no bi edi se omo babeye ede mai bi aroma babeye di ama ade fo no mo ya sere isi di ede rani man from say krata me bi afeta omo ni ase omo mekwa that's why so some be ya electricity extension ebe so omo that's why so if I can remember I think ending July August we a letter letter me copy e wo me phone so me da come UCG manager ankasa it be so head office Accra I say we go be extension na you insia and so I want person one so can you apply any ni na my salary ka go e ma UCG
Amsuafo panyina wote ne nkan wono ayamra sebedwani demand shomo apa denkyira west abaton pesua so onimonyamfo Randolph Amwako jumper ena wote ne nkano
harisha yenko wie kase na ewo amanane anase obi mai so enra ne reto manim ese okopiemu ewo Dar es Salaam eno eye Tanzania wonma hinkromu a enra ena wode omampani samea wode no esi akonwa so bi na mpre no eso yereto wonim se we ankoso ewo sports stadium kase ankomanfo betimi agitwi akopiemu ewo hono na emomwe asrafo no wonma tana ye ena dwumade ni course enra ne disi akonwa so enne afede asrafo na polisifo no ese so a wode eto one man include Dar es Salaam so say one enna anadwo anwumre kosi anopa na fe wo yi e de afiri one mo so samre de kuro no mpanifu na so bi kan wase huru a ebedwo omanfo anim hantwo one ma de hye ahwere one mo nkwa e wo sa o ye kire ekọ na wotwe wo kina na wotwe wo eto aba no kyese eye benabo esu abusuafo ehwe one mo ade hye ayira no wo hwe one mo akwakosie one so so one mo hu de so afi na one ACC one adehia we eye dia efri eye Tanzania eba wato abawie wode omampani asi akonwa se mpire ni so dan so manfo no one eni enye eye yie ena one eye
Abusuafo aha ana brama kwame de onyu bia kan kasebo no ede asie sanse nwom anoma sibia so cha abo na woje ne nsema woto a edi kasebo mu akote no ebi eni se kana mampanyini owura chantramani Muhammad atudwa chese omayi economy no obade adaroma esanso enya na ntu gyina so a enya asem ketwa
Area heads at the Maryland Church of Pentecost, a year Pastor Frank Ajimai Prempe was a young shese Aduma, a by use me a second year Feniagro, name for you in Grabon in West San say, as soon as so, and as an Aketian Esso, a dozen.
Na sebe dwamo chiamene so atimi afya majumadia watu din parliamentary practice and procedure week watimi adanedi eno so ba beboase de be amra sebe dwadwuma no ebe kotote
Ononyamfo Mahama Ayariga wano na eda Northern Caucus emrashibjafo wono ewatifi mantem no wode ato omampeni wode ato speaker anim say ansa na ode nani bechire mu Russia na Ukraine tukwamu no onhwesa asumdwe beba atifi mantem ansa
na mrashibjwamu soso no ningo prampram mrashibjwani onu kro ya yo so for communication technology and digitalization so no so kire say edumako awdo bi dide abanika na edoma bomo a omuntua toma tabru omo nsem de akwakodan atoni je no no sugusu a odoso ensem no emu
yedi amanoni nsem efri Tanzania ebreo sa enso na wonoma eboa yen se KOK and streaming live ewo Facebook ede ema yen edumako efa kase nka ye ohene race bias se na afi so ohene non dairy powdered milk wonoma dama eni nya hoden ede kase no ebreo akenkanfo na eyeme ohene banya akomene
adwempa ni kofi mensa adwene papa na papa ni wani mukan
yedi wasi nyame ya adoma ho kina anopa obesa etie kase foforo me dane me ba me de enkai